Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Linux Guru Guy channel. Today we're going to take a look at Linux Mint as distro for more experienced Linux users. It's often been touted as a distro for beginners, those who are new to Linux, especially those coming from the Windows environment. And while there have been some excellent additions in the last few years of distros that are good for beginners, yeah, Linux Mint was one of the first ones, along with Ubuntu, that was known as being good for that purpose. What about more experienced Linux users? Do they feel at home with Linux Mint as well? We'll take a look at this question following the intro. And we're back. First, I need to divulge that I use Linux Mint as my daily driver. Obviously, I like it a lot. That said, it doesn't necessarily mean the real bona fide Linux guru would be satisfied with the system, or any one individual actually. It would be crazy for so many different people with various needs and such to be satisfied with Linux Mint, but a lot are. What I'm intending to answer with this video is whether or not an experienced user could be satisfied using Linux Mint, and if so, what kind. Before we dig into that question, however, I can hear all the newbies out there ask me to define a couple of terms. First, what is a distro? A distro is short for distribution of Linux. Distribution of Linux is a system that is put together which includes 1. A Linux kernel, the heart of what makes it a Linux machine or system, a Windows manager to manage Windows, appear on the screen, a display manager which displays your login graphic, the desktop environment, the look and feel of the applications used to access the system, as well as a set of programs to fulfill particular needs that the user might have. Often, not always, these distros are aimed at meeting certain needs. For instance, Ubuntu Studio is meant for the creative person using music, art, writing to express themselves. Also, various lightweight distros, which means they don't require a lot of system resources, so can be installed on older machines. A daily driver is simply the operating system one uses on their main computer. So you would use it most days. So since I use this HP laptop, which I'm working on from doing this video on, as my main computer, and I have Linux Mint installed on it, it's my daily driver. I use it most of the time. It is the primary operating system I use when I'm working on computer projects like this video. So, yeah. Do I have any other computers and what's installed on them? Yes, I do have other computers. I have another laptop called the Acer Aspire that currently has EndeavourOS installed on it. It's my laptop to test out various distros on, so I use it for that purpose mostly. It's also a family machine, which makes it kind of a conflict of interest there, I think, because I'm installing new operating systems on it sometimes weekly or more than once a week. They're having to readjust these new distros all the time. I have to reinstall everything, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah, I need a new computer, I think, laptop for that purpose. For testing out distros. Good reason to buy another computer. It is an old 1980s desktop Dell Dimension 3100 computer of my mom's. I inherited when she passed away. It might be a 90s computer too. I don't remember. Anyways, aside from my son's computer, which I'm not allowed to install anything on unless he asks me to. That's all the computers I have. I know a lot of Linux people have tons of computers around. Uh, I have a decent one, but I could use more. At any rate, I hear people saying, "Get on with it already." I will. Okay, let's do this. So, what type of experts would use Linux Mint? Your mileage may vary, but I really enjoy the Cinnamon Desktop. I usually use it if I have the option to do so. It gains its reputation as a beginner's distro because, one, highly stable. Yeah, there's that old history back in the old time where they had problems with it, but generally you don't have to worry about that anymore. It's a highly stable system based on a stable and Bluetooth system, or stable Debian if you want to use a Linux LE version of Linux Mint. So you have it based on Debian, or you have it based on Bluetooth. Take your pick. Two, it has the feel of a Windows desktop more so than many other desktops. So it's intuitive for those folk. Three, just works out of the box for most people on a wide range of hardware, both old and new. And four, it rarely encounters any installation errors. It's easy install, not complicated. There's a lot of those out there now that you can install very simply. Yeah, you don't have to do a bunch of internal tweaking and stuff to get it to work right. It works. Sometimes even a Linux guru just wants a system they can just put on the computer, install, and it works without a bunch of tinkering with it. They don't want to have to tinker every time they install a system and get it to work right. I mean, you do your standard adjustments that you want to do and that kind of thing. But otherwise, I mean, a regular user that didn't know nothing about all the terminal and commands and all that kind of stuff could simply just install it on a computer and use it way it right out of the box, the way it comes out. It's got word processor programs on it, LibreOffice, and it's got Thunderbird and Firefox. So you're a fully operational system right out of the box. Also, despite its highly functional graphical interface, one can still do most things by the terminal command line if you want to. There's still tweaks that can be done to make your Linux Mint more efficient, like keyboard shortcuts, aliases, installing your favorite programs and packages on it. Also, like most Linux systems, pretty much customize it any way you like. Want a different kernel? Install it. Is the Cinnamon Desktop too resource hungry for your machine? Install XFCE desktop on it, or you can install the XFCE desktop version of Linux from an ISO file. The only thing to my knowledge you can do is install a different Windows manager in the Cinnamon desktop. Sometimes they're kind of married, so correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that, but I believe that's the case. Bottom line is, despite its reputation of being a good distro for beginners, coming from the Windows environment, it's also an excellent distro for more experienced Linux users as well. So, are you a Linux guru who regularly uses Linux Mint for your daily driver? Why? Let me know down in the comments. While you're down there, I would highly appreciate giving me a like, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I really don't plan on having these set up to be timed every week or so, obviously. Wish I had time for that, but I have to structure my time as best I can. I have to do the research, all that kind of stuff for these things. Takes a while at my pace. So there you go. They come out when they come out, and if you hit the notification bell, you'll always be notified when they do. So the next time I'll tell you my Linux Mint tweaks and scripts I built to make sure all my favorite programs are installed. Till then, may all your computers run Linux. Bye.